Hey guys, Pixel Pino here again with you. Last we left off, I was talking about my rucksack. I got it on eBay and I just started training. That was back in April. I know I needed some shoes at that time. I just was loading up some pavers in my rucksack, and I threw on some high top shoes. I didn't have any boots other than maybe a couple pairs of work boots, but they were like steel toe, clunky, more for a work environment. And I was looking for something that I could train in. I was again presented with sort of another situation. How much money should I be spending, on something that I wasn't sure if I could make it a few miles on? At that point, I did 2 or 3, maybe 4, 2 to 3 mile rucks, just in these high tops. But I know that they weren't very comfortable. My feet were sore, no blisters or anything. But I wanted to make sure that I could get into walking long distance, doing it safely and comfortably. So I started going to the local hike shop, learning about them. I did take a look at a couple Loas. I don't have Loas now, but I took a look at a couple Loas in October. I wanted to upgrade, but instead, at that time, I decided I would go with something that I could train on. And if I was committed to this, I could upgrade to the Loas that I was looking at. I believe they were some Renegades at that time, Loa Renegades. But in the meantime, I needed some boots for training. So within the first 30 days, I was looking around. I was reading reviews online, listening to people review on YouTube and whatnot. And I decided that I would try to go with more of a tactical boot. Something you'd see something in the military. Just because they seem to be a little bit less expensive coming in. If you get them on a good deal for, $70 to $100, and I found a great deal on some Smith & Wesson. They're the Smith & Wesson Breach in a size 12 for like $50 or something. After tax, I think it was like $57-$60, and I ended up getting these Smith & Wesson Breach. Really good. I've been training them now. I was going to upgrade in October, but we didn't want to spend again the $300. And I really were actually enjoying these. These are pretty comfortable. I wear Superfeet already and have been wearing Superfeet for years. So I put my insole, my Superfeet insole. I talked to the hiking shop. They recommended it no matter what boot I got. And so I already had my Superfeet. They're just an insert. Mine's quite a bit older of an insert, but it's one of the green ones. And it does a great job at keeping my arch support. And I went with these Smith & Wessons. They have the zipper to make it easy to take off, Velcro, mid boot, and some heavy duty laces. I've had some fraying. When I get out to Bataan, I will probably bring an extra set of laces, just as these have had a year on them, and if I were to break them, I would have to need some cordage, so I will probably pick up this extra set of laces, so if I have any emergencies out there, I can mend them up. But they've done really well. They have great traction and still do some wider lugs. So I should be able to get through and kick off debris. I have some wear on it, but it has still a lot of great traction on it for a year's worth of use. Probably 250, 300 miles on them so far. I have had one split right here. I need to put some Goog on more recently. The other side is doing great. But with that, I also needed to get some socks. I was reading up on different socks. Oh, by the way, these are non-Gore-Tex. I wanted to go with non-Gore-Tex so I could let my feet breathe, because I understand moisture will, can wreck your feet out there, along with the friction, get you blisters. So I was reading up on socks, what to wear, and I wanted something that had moisture wicking properties. I learned about moisture wicking, that you want to keep the moisture away from your feet. And so I went with these Darn Tough socks. I got a few pair. They've lasted me a while. I just hand wash them when I'm done with some Woolite and in some cold water and hang them up to dry. These I actually got from eBay, another eBay purchase. And there was a guy selling them near the Darn Tough factory recall socks or something. They ended up being, I think it was like $15 a pair instead of like the $35 a pair that they are. But they're a merino wool blend, and they do a great job. They sit just above my my boot, my upper, and I haven't had an issue with them yet. An interesting thing, I haven't had blisters. I've gone just a little over 15 miles. I just did a 13 miler last weekend, and I haven't had too many blisters or hot spots. Before my boots, I did have one small blister on the side of my foot. It was probably about yay big. I skated for 13 years, from 13 to 26. I used to wear cotton socks and wear my roller skates, my quad skates, rather loose. So I have calluses all over my feet because I had a lot of blisters in those first 2 or 3 years of doing a lot of skating, especially untied. It's not recommended, but I thought it was a cool thing to do. But it actually conditioned my feet. So it seems like I'm getting out there. I'm not having any issues. I haven't gone past 15 miles. I hope to go next weekend and get to 17 to 20 miles at least once before the race. So I'm thinking next weekend I'll do that. My hot spots, I don't seem to have them. Last weekend I did have some concern, so I headed in a little bit early. Just wanted to take care of my feet. Got home and they were doing okay. But I think that 17 to 20, if I can do that, make sure that I take care of my feet, keep them dry, keep my ankle support going on, lace them up just right so that I can have room for swelling with my feet, but also, keep them in there secure so I don't have a lot of movement inside my boot. The inserts help with that. I've worn them without inserts, and my foot can move around a little, and that could probably wear into a blister kind of situation. So I had some luck with this. Not being a hiker, not being military, I decided to go with more of a tactical boot. I've had tremendous luck with it. I did want to go with the Loas, but I have actually really loved these Smith & Wessons. I don't know if they're Army issue. I got the tan. They came in a black as well, but they are super comfortable. They don't do well in like super watery situations. Again, because there is no Gore-Tex. I've worn them here a couple times at work during the snow, and sometimes they can get a little bit of the uppers can get a little bit wet, and I don't want to let that seep in. I don't plan on having rain there, but last year they had snow. Most of everything that we would be on, I would assume, would absorb up some of the rain. If it ends up being a real wet situation, I will be in for a world of hurt. So, galoshes, do I go get another pair of boots that have Gore-Tex? I don't know. I don't have enough time with 23 days to break them in. So these are just some of the items that I've been using. I'll go over some more. I appreciate your support, and more importantly, support our troops and thank a veteran. And remember the fallen. They've given so much for our freedom. Their sacrifice means the world. And, each and every day you see a vet, just make sure that you tell them thank you for their service and show them respect. They've honored our country in their service and spent time away from their families, and some may have never come back. So be sure to thank a vet. Remember them as each and every day, and may God bless our soldiers, our country, and our nation. And until next time, keep on rucking, and I'll see you at the finish line.